Well, we're back for the final game of our first season in the head coach here with Airbus. And thank God we got those results in the last episode, because we have been awful since. We have not picked up a point. Now we need to get through this one and the season review and then start looking for a job, because there's no hope of us surviving long term. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 8 of the head coach with me, Daniel. It's the final game of season 1 with Airbus UK. We face Aberystwyth in a dead rubber, and thank God it is, because we have been awful since the last episode where we basically wrapped up survival. I've been on the beach a little bit looking for other jobs, and so have the team. There's no doubt about that. There's also an interesting situation at the top. TNS, who got to the latter stages of the Europa Conference somehow, are now maybe not going to win the league against Bala. So we'll keep an eye on that. But if you're looking forward to all of it, seeing what jobs are available and a review of what has been a miraculous first season, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM23 content from 2 long-term stories. We were back earlier today with our Build a Nation. That one will continue tomorrow at 11:30. We've got a big end to the season in that one too, so make sure you don't miss it. And finally, we're also live on Twitch every evening. Come and join us there, the link's in the eye above. But thank you very much for coming along as always, as we are back with a very difficult situation. We know that loads of our best players are going to continue to leave this club in the summer. We are by far the worst side left that aren't relegated from the division. And although we've achieved a miracle in keeping this team up, I don't think we can back it up next year. And that means I have to try my best to do a runner. We'll look at that in a moment, the jobs that are available and where we might go. But for now, let's get the final game out the way. Let's get the season review out the way. And we start by showing you the games off camera, which have been awful. We haven't been battered in any of them, but we've been uninspiring to say the least. I know we've done our job, but then maybe the lads have switched off. Or maybe, bar the last game, we've just played better sides and we've been unable to cope. We lost 2-1 away at Flint Town. We were 2 down after half an hour thanks to Larnell Cole. Adam Davis got one back for us. Pennybont, very similar story. 2 down and then Adam Davis scored late on. And then Cardiff met Uni. A little bit different this time. Jake Eyre got a brace to put us 2-1 up, but we managed to throw it away with a Luke Rees hat-trick. I guess it's not that important because we have secured survival. But looking at other jobs, looking at being marketable for other clubs, we would like to have finished the season well. Aberystwyth at home is a chance to do that though. So let's go and get straight into it. A couple of youth intake players in the team and see if we're able to deliver. We go through to the fixtures. We go through to the team meeting. It's a very settled side. We know exactly what we want. And 2 players that you saw in the intake last time out are starting in our first 11. We have got Nathan Parry as centre-half, 15-year-old centre defender. He's still the second best at the club, so he's going to start a game. He's actually done all right since he's come in. And then Joe Jenkins in centre midfield. Grinnell coming back from injury, but maybe not quite there yet. And that's why we're playing him at the moment. Nice to see Grinnell back though. He did come off the bench in the last game, and he will do the same again this time. So a nice finish to the season in that regard. But for now, this is our 11 to take on Aberystwyth. We've got Borg in goal, Owen and Kamara at the fullbacks with Parry and Thomason as centre-half, Palmer, Edwards, Jenkins and McQueen the midfield diamond, Adam Davis and Jake Eyre up front. Lots of decent players on the bench, loads of players also nowhere near the squad. So let's go and get into it with the morale shot, with the form out. Let's just see if we can pick up a surprise. I doubt it, but there's only one way to find out. And here we are with 2 changes for the visitors. They've got a much better team than us. We ran them close in a cup game not too long ago. A lot of players struggling for morale now. So I don't think we're going to have a confident start to this game. Means that short passing instruction's going to be ignored. We're going to give up more possession and probably with it lose. So let's go into it and find out. And we're back with a throw on the right hand side for the visitors. Just 8 minutes in and they're already on top. Keeping possession well, looking confident and chipping up to Marengi. Thomason wins the header. McQueen just hoofs clear. And again, no composure in that at all. No passing range. And Cummins flicks on the long ball. How on earth did that nearly end up in? Borg makes the save off the crossbar. Nearly got looped by a header outside the box. But now we're back at the other end with a Kamara corner. And Adam Davis, I thought he'd headed it in. It's just wide to the side netting. First good chance for Airbus, 0-0 with 15 gone. And here we are on the left-hand side for Aberystwyth, still looking the better side overall from open play. Lowell gets the cross in from the left, Phillips up, Kamara heads away as far as Hosey. Brings it down on the right to Edwards. Good football again, they're definitely looking more confident than us, and that's a nice switch of play. Kelly on the left, chance to bring it forward, gives it away to Bailey Owen. Big switch of players overhit, and Air won't get there. Phillips on the right, into the box he goes, 3 in the middle, 2 of them unmarked, cuts it back to the edge to Thorne, on the volley hits the bar, Cummins puts the rebound in. I mean, he was completely unmarked, 3 yards out, and he had the goal at his mercy. Not good enough. So we're back on the left-hand side with Jake Eyre here on the attack as McQueen passes it to, I don't really know who. I don't know what he was actually aiming for there. Jenkins, the keeper, can clear long and he's headed away as far as our Jenkins in centre mid. Up to Eyre. Was he onside? He's finished it bloody brilliantly. But he wasn't onside. The flag goes up and it was all for no avail. As it's a corner kick for our visitors this time. I'm sure they'll score their first. No. Ericsson heads wide. He was being marked by number 5, Palmer. 6'1", great in the air, can't even win a header, as Davis wins his, but it goes straight to Ericsson. Long downfield to Marengi, who beats Thomason. Finds Lowell on the left-hand side, cuts inside, looks really confident, no one can get near him, gets to the edge and shoots, just over the bar. I mean, there's no doubting, despite our occasional threat, the visitors are the better team here, and if you look at what's left in the league, I know a couple will come up, but they're the sides we're hoping will be bad, because otherwise we've got no chance of competing. Flint Town we've been close to at times, but the other 8, far better than us. Few of the lads motivated, we're 1-0 down. Maybe we can try and provide a late comeback. Maybe a final nice moment to remember the season by. But it's an Aberystwyth free kick. We haven't seen one of these go in for a while. That one hits the woodwork. Jenkins heads away. It's cleared down the left-hand side. We'll think about subs in a moment. Few people struggling for confidence. Let's see what happens with the corner first. Headed away. We're so much better at those man-to-man. I know we still concede, but defending the actual corners man-to-man, we are so much better. 28 minutes remaining. Changes to be made. We'll make 4 or 5. We'll be back to run through them. Well, 5 teenagers coming on. 17 is the oldest age of the subs. Grinnell is back. We push Edwards forward and take McQueen off. Sasha's on up front, he replaces Eyre. Owen on in the holding role for Joe Palmer. Parry replaced by Heald at centre-half. And Goodwin on for Bailey Owen at right-back. Loads of them anxious and nervous. It doesn't matter here. Let's encourage the boys, try and get them onside. And hopefully create a moment of magic as Thomason goes long towards Adam Davis. Not really getting any service now in this team. And you can see where we're missing Craig Curran. We've lost that creative spark in the number 10. McQueen had that one great game where he came in and got a hat-trick. Since then, he's been virtually anonymous as Hosey finds Edwards in the centre circle. Over to Cummins is so easy. I don't even know where Heald was there. The sub not up to the pace of the game. Thomason, the covering defender, yet again not actually covering. But with 20 minutes to go, it's all Aberystwyth, and they're going to deservedly win. Though we've got a long throw with Thomason on the left. Grinnell's up. Headed away as far as Cummins. No real support at all. And now they can counter with ease as Phillips picks the ball up to Hosey at right back. Inside to Allen. Look how confident they are. Chip forward. Heald heads away. Davis mops up. Finds Jenkins. Chips over towards Edwards, who's making the run. Headed away as far as Adam Davis. On the right wing. Not where we want the big target man. As Jenkins goes back to Thomason. Over towards Davis. He's up. He wins his header. And the 6'5" striker gives us a lifeline. Exactly what he does in almost every game. But this is normally where it stops. 2-1 has been our most regular defeat recently. And we're on course for it again. It's an almost carbon copy game. As Thomason heads the ball away. Here is Adam Davis. Good challenge from Thorne to win it back. Ericsson over the top to Cummins. But Kamara deals with it. And he goes back to the keeper, Borsch. What's he going to do? Plays out to Kamara. Goalkeeper seems to be the only one following the plans. Long towards Davis. Loses out in the air. Where is the short passing? Sasha wins it back for Kamara. To Heald. Has 2 short options. Owens 1. Heald again. Oh, he just hoofs it. Davis will flick on. And it's given away to Cummins. Finds Lowell. In behind he goes. He's got space to run into. He's too quick for our defence. And it's a good save from Borge. Clear to Phillips. Over the bar. Why will they not pass it short? They seem to absolutely refuse it. And it stays 2-1 as a result. Though back with just over 10 to go, Adam Davis with the ball in a centre circle. He's charging at the defence. In the end tries to do it on his own, but it's blocked to Jenkins. Don't know what he's doing shooting from there. It's comfortably over. It stays 2-1. We've been better in the second half, but we've not been good enough. And that's how it stays. Almost an identical 2-1 to the other games earlier in the month. Adam Davies gets another goal. Thomason sets it up. But Thomason's about to go. And Davies is going to be the only good player left. I'll say I'm not happy with the performance. Most of them motivated by that. But let's go and get ahead to the season review. And then straight to the job centre. And season review time with Airbus UK. No trophies. No real success. But you could argue staying up is success. If we look at all the players that were bought in, none of them achieved a 7 rating, but then who did in our squad, quite frankly? Some good players that came into the team, some players that performed pretty well, but overall, it's an average standard of players and it's been very uninspiring. I think the big moment for us is on the transfers out. Just as we were starting to find form, Craig Curran was then swept away to AFC Fylde. If we'd kept hold of him, maybe we could have picked up a couple more results, but as it is, we still did enough. Loads of players went out on loan, but Joe Palmer deserves a special mention because he came back a different player. Through the season results, we finished 10th, and after attempting to avoid relegation, do you know what? We did it. And I'm very unhappy that the board have only put that as a C+, because that is a miracle that we have achieved. The other news, important for the nation, not that this is a Build a Nation save, is that TNS did in the end win the league. So that important after their success in Europe. Hopefully they can back it up with more group stage football. The Welsh Cup, we went out to Aberystwyth on pens. In the League Cup, we went out to Bala. The teams we'd expect to lose to. We can have no complaints. Through the biggest win, a 6-2-1 at Aberystwyth in that bizarre spell. The week after, we lost 6-1 at Pennybont, remember? And that was the one game McQueen turned up for. The match to remember, our first home win of the season, a 5-2 against Cardiff Met Uni. That was when Jake Eyre finally decided to turn up. And in goal of the season came in that 6-2 win as well. McQueen scoring it. So he only had one good game, but it seems to have won him some awards. Through the finances, they're not great. The club reputation is tiny, and the best 11 is as follows. McQueen has to be in as number 10 because we don't have Curran anymore. The rest of the team largely picks itself. In fact, Craig Curran's in there as centre midfielder, and Jake Phillips is there as right back, despite the fact they've gone. So it's a bit of a strange team, but if you look at the average ratings, the Curran one's broken. The other two, Davies and Thomason, the only two good players at the club on paper, and it shows. Thomason's going to be off in the summer as well. It's going to get very tricky next year if we're still here. The accolades, any surprises? No. Davies missed the first 2 months injured, still managed to be top scorer, still managed to be player of the year. Munro got young player, he did alright to be fair to him, and Thomason the most assists from centre half. That ball playing role working alright. Borge got 7 clean sheets, Curran got 9 assists. But let's get through to history in the making as we survive in the Welsh Premier League. I don't want to be here next season ideally, I think somehow we will be, but let's get through to the job centre and see if there's anything that could save us. Oh, sorry, before that, we get our first look at the Dynamic Manager timeline. So this is going to be an important part of our career, isn't it? We were welcomed aboard on the 17th of July. The transfers are in there. So Borge, Granell, Owen Roberts all came in early, as did Ashley Blackwell and Kerry Davis, and Munro and Mike Owen and McQueen. It keeps going on forever and ever because there were lots of deadline day additions. Is there anything other than transfers? No. That seems a bit weird. You've got all the deadline day signings and then nothing before survival. Now, it is a nice feature. It looks really cool. Adam Davies has done well there. But it does look like something that could be expanded on. Perhaps we had a thriller in the cup but went out, which is more important than you signed a backup right back. So I'd like to see a little bit more diversity in the types of incidents that are included on that. But overall, it's a really nicely laid out screen and something that can be improved upon. That's the big one though. We survived. There is nothing that's topping that. And we finish on this screen with backup players already being offered contracts elsewhere. Wacona, the first of them, and probably the most prominent. We have applied for a job at Kidderminster, which is the only really low-level one available at the minute. I think our most realistic chance of moving away is one of the clubs that get promoted from the regional leagues in England, or if a club gets promoted in Scotland, one of those from the non-playable leagues where we can take them on for their first season up. So that's what we're going to be looking at. It is a very fragile situation. Of course, we've not been able to get a coaching badge because the club's finances are a mess. We've also got a problem for next season because the club vision expectations are no longer to try and avoid relegation. They expect us to actually survive, and I don't think we do that comfortably. So fingers crossed the next episode tomorrow we will be looking at a job offer and introducing a new club. However, I've got a sneaky suspicion based on previous years with Wales that we're going to be stuck here with a transfer special. It's going to need to be a big one if we are, because there's so many players leaving. I know we've looked at this before, but we have got, excluding the 2 youth intake players, 6 tied down for next year. Okay, Adam Davis and Bradley Borgia, 2 of them. There are a lot of good players going, Thomason being the primary one. So I'm not sure how many of these players will be here or whether we'll be here, but if you're looking forward to finding out and you did enjoy this season, which most crucially ended with survival, then please do put a thumbs up on the video and subscribe for daily FM23 content. We'll be back in the morning with the next episode of our Build a Nation, where we finish season 1 in style there. Here is all about will we or won't we be in charge of Airbus in the next episode. Come and join me at 3:30 tomorrow to find out. In the meantime, my FM Top 3 playlist is above my head now. I'll see you tomorrow. It's going to be a big one. I just hope we're not stuck at Airbus.